Kabina Nkrumah was just 30 years old, a young billionaire from the heart of Ghana. The kind of man who came from nowhere and rose like a phoenix. Social media was his palace, and he ruled it with gold. Every week, a new luxury car. Every month, a private jet to a different corner of the world. His wardrobe sparkled like he walked through diamonds. His Instagram, a gallery of gold watches, rooftop pools, and captions like "Hustle in silence, shine in gold." To the world, he was a real estate mogul. That's what he told interviews, blogs, and even his followers. But the real story, the dark story, was far from what anyone imagined. If the truth ever came out, he wouldn't be praised, he'd be feared. People loved Kabina. They envied him. They said, "This is what success looks like." He was a symbol of modern African glory. But that image was about to shatter in a quiet airport, inside a luxurious plane, when his secret would be uncovered. It was a calm Saturday morning when he boarded a flight to France. Kabina sat in business class like a king on his throne. The seat was soft, the air was scented, and in his hand was a glass of mango orange juice that shimmered like molten gold. His fingers danced slowly across his phone, and a thick gold watch hugged his wrist, catching the morning sunlight. His presence radiated power. He wasn't just rich, he was a legend. The man who donated to hospitals, gave buses to school kids, helped farmers, funded clean water wells. The people called him A Junkwa, the savior. Just as the aircraft doors sealed and wheels prepared to roll, 3 silent figures in black security uniforms entered the plane. They didn't make a sound, but the air around them shifted heavy. Serious, no shouting, no greetings. One walked directly to Kabina's seat. "Mr. Kabina Nkrumah," the officer asked, cold and calm. Kabina looked up slowly. His confident face twitched. "Yes, what's going on here? Please step out with us." "Just a routine check." Kabina chuckled, but his laughter was dry, nervous. "Do you know who I am?" he asked, crossing his arms. "Kabina Nkrumah. My name is on the manifest. I've already settled your colleagues outside. Why are you bothering me?" Heads turned. Whispers fluttered like birds. Cameras came out. Kabina stood up, straightened his silk sleeves. His face was strong, but his hands trembled just a bit. "I've cleared this outside. If I miss this flight, hundreds of people will suffer. I'm warning you." Another officer, more polite, stepped in. "Sir, we're just following orders. Our commander is here." And then Kabina saw him. Outside the plane, at the doorway, stood a tall, dark man in full command uniform. His eyes were sharp like eagle talons, his face stone cold. In that moment, Kabina's power cracked. He took a deep breath, lowered his shoulders, picked up his bag, and whispered, "Let's go." The plane stayed still. Passengers froze. The cameras rolled. The king was stepping down before the flight even took off. As he walked beside the officers, Kabina leaned close to one. "Listen, can make you a millionaire. Just forget this happened. I'll transfer the money right now." The officer didn't flinch. "Sir, we have orders. The search must continue." That's when Kabina knew this wasn't ordinary. He had flown in and out of airports like royalty for years. Never searched, never stopped. Untouchable, but today, something was different. He didn't know it yet, but the charm his mother gave him, the one that kept him invisible, had expired. And worse, he had broken the only rule. He had slept with a woman during her cycle and crossed spiritual lines that could not be undone. Asterisk, he was escorted to a dark, silent room deep inside the airport. Cameras off, doors locked. A senior officer wearing gloves opened his bag carefully at first. Everything was normal. Clothes, shirts, toiletries. Then they slid open the lining under the bag. Silence. Dozens of tightly wrapped drug packages stared. Kabina's skin turned pale. His voice left him. The senior officer didn't say a word. He just nodded. One officer picked up a phone. Within minutes, the news exploded. Breaking: Ghanaian billionaire caught smuggling drugs at airport. Photos and videos filled every screen. Kabina Nkrumah, in handcuffs, head down, surrounded by drug enforcement agents. The same man who gave buses to school children. The same man who built hospitals. Now exposed, humiliated. But this wasn't just a fall from grace. This was a story rooted in family pressure and a desperate hunger for validation years before the fame, the jets, and the arrest. Kabina was just a quiet village boy in Cape Coast. Gentle, polite, soft-spoken. He was the last born, the one nobody remembered during celebrations. His mother worshipped money. His father, strict like thunder, always roaring. "You're nothing until you make money," he'd say. "Your brother succeeded early. If you don't rise, don't call me your father." And rise they did. His eldest brother was a famous car dealer in Accra. The second one a flashy politician waving from tinted jeeps. The third living abroad sending dollars every week. But Kabina, he came home with degrees, polished shoes, and big words, but no car, no land, no money. His father held the certificate and laughed. "This paper can't even buy salt." That night, Kabina stood by the window staring at the moon. He didn't know yet that his own family would be the ones to push him into the fire. "He will be invisible to the law," Baba said. "But warn him this. If he ever lies with a woman who is menstruating, especially the night before a journey, the charm will die." Kabina's mother nodded, but she never passed on the full warning. She simply said, "Behave wisely. Stay away from careless women." Kabina nodded, thinking it was just motherly advice. But that unspoken sentence, the one that never left her lips, was the one that would open the door to his downfall after Baba. Kwabanat tied the red thread and blew the ancient dust. Kabina stepped into the world like a lion wearing feathers, unseen, untouchable. Every trip became smoother than the last. The scanner stayed silent. The dogs walked past. Even the officers greeted him with smiles, calling him Boss Chief. The first trip? Perfect. The second? Even smoother, and soon the business took flight. He transported goods across borders quick. Clean, calculated. The money poured in like Ghana's rain in April. He bought a Range Rover, then another, then a Porsche. His tires kissed the roads like drums at a chieftain's festival. His suits were so sharp they could slice through sugar cane, and his shoes shone like obsidian in the sun. People began to call him Ada Hugh Kabina, the Royal One. He didn't forget home. He tore down the old mud house and built a marble-floored K mansion with glass windows tall as dreams. He bought his father a brand new Prado Jeep. He sent his mother to Jerusalem. She returned with tears of joy. "My son is God's favorite," she sang through the streets. He built a health center in the village and named it after his late grandfather, Nkrumah Memorial Clinic. People worshipped him. The governor shook his hand. The church made him patron. Children sang his name at Independence Day. But behind all the glitz was powder and deception. A heart wrapped in red thread, and that thread had started to burn. The forbidden night was the night before another big flight. The stars hung like diamonds over Kumasi. The air was soft, the type that whispered lullabies to the rich. Kabina was in his mansion, checking flight details, passport, luggage, ready to conquer once again. Then the phone rang. It was his boys. "Chief, no stress tonight. Let's go chill." "You too, Dayform serious." At first he refused. "I fly tomorrow." But they begged, laughed, teased, until he finally gave in. A black Lexus picked him up. Loud music, laughter. They reached a private lounge, where the lights danced like fireflies and the music shook the walls like thunder. Drinks flowed. Women spun. Wealth overflowed. That's when he saw her. She stood by the bar, skin like cocoa, butter. Eyes like dusk before Harmattan. Her name was Ama. They talked, they laughed, they left together. That night her touch was silk. Her breath was fire. They didn't speak much. They just did. And in that one act, unbeknownst to Kabina, he had broken the sacred law. She was on her cycle. He didn't know. He didn't ask. That night, while he slept like a king in silk sheets, in some forgotten village, red thread around his waist turned black. The charm died quietly, like a candle caught in a storm. Next morning the sun rose gold. Birds flew like arrows in formation. Kabina woke up refreshed, showered, and put on his finest navy suit. His gold chain caught the light, Its perfume followed him like royalty. Everything was ready. Airport, he said, climbing into his black SUV. As always, the people waved. Safe journey, Chief. He smiled, nodded. Passed through check-in like water in a stream. No one stopped him, no alarms, no questions, no questions. He entered the plane, sat in business class, legs crossed, sipping his juice like a king returning home. Then it happened. The arrest again, 3. Officers boarded the plane, quiet, sharp, direct. Chief Kabina and Nkrumah. He looked up double quotes, yes. Step outside, just a quick search. He forced a smile again. I've settled this. Call your superiors. Do you even know who I am? The youngest officer replied, You can call anyone, sir. Our commander is the one standing outside. Kabina turned his head. There he was, the same tall officer, still stone. Watching, his heart sank. The charm's warmth, it's gone. His skin felt cold. He stood up, straightened his sleeves, stepped out. Phones came out. Murmurs spread. The whispers turned into waves, and for the first time, he felt naked. The spirits had turned their backs. The lion had walked into a hunter's trap alone. Trial and fall he. 'Twas arrested. Tried in court. The room was packed. Journalists, ex-friends, even strangers with popcorn. Kabina stood there, no suit, no watch, no name, just a brown prison uniform and trembling hands. The judge read the words like thunder on tin. Guilty. Then came the fall. His houses seized, his cars gone. Even the apartment he bought for his cousin taken. They reached his parents' mansion, locked it, stripped it, repainted it in shame. His parents moved back to their old cracked mud house. No lights, no guests, no dignity. Neighbors crossed the road to avoid them. Church elders deleted his name from the donor board. From your son is a blessing to God. Will help you through this shame. The end in prison. Kabina sat by the cold wall. His food untouched. His eyes hollow. Each day he wrote letters. Mama, Papa, you made me this. You pushed me. You broke me. You didn't lift me. Ha! You chained me. But no replies came. Not even one. And in his hand he held the red thread now, torn, dusty, dead. He stared at it, and then he laughed. A dry, painful laugh. The same charm that made me rise became the one that killed me. The world moved on. His pictures vanished. His name faded. And Kabina and Nkrumah became nothing but a cautionary tale. Don't chase quick wealth. Don't sell your soul for shine. Don't become a lion with no home. The rise of the false something had shifted. The eagle had not just been pulled down from the sky, it had never even taken off. As Chief Kabina and Nkrumah stepped off the plane, he leaned in toward one of the junior officers. I can make you a millionaire. Just pretend this didn't happen. I'll transfer the money right now instant into your account. If the officer didn't blink, greater than, sir, please cooperate. We received verified intel. This search is necessary. Kabina swallowed. This wasn't his first crossing for years. Borders bent for him. No checks, no barks, no scanners, no delays. He moved like a ghost cloaked in silk. But something was wrong today. He didn't yet know that the charm his mother secured for him had already died. He had broken the only rule. He had lain with a woman during her period the night before a trip. And so the gods had turned their backs. They escorted him into a quiet room. Cameras off, doors locked. A senior officer stepped in, hands gloved, eyes focused. Kabina's suitcase was opened. Shirts, toiletries, boxers. Then the lining was cut. Open, the room froze. Tightly wrapped packages, heavy. Drug superior officer didn't speak. He just nodded. A junior agent picked up the phone. A signal was sent. Within 10 minutes, Twitter, TikTok, and WhatsApp exploded. Photos leaked, headlines roared, billionaire philanthropist arrested. The same man who built hospitals, who gave graduation speeches, who handed out school buses. People didn't believe it. It must be a setup. He gave my village electricity. This can't be real. But the truth had arrived, and it wasn't knocking. It was bulldozing, long before the money. Kabina was just a quiet boy in a small village. He wasn't loud. He wasn't strong. He wasn't noticed. Last, born. Forgotten at birthdays, soft dash spoken his mother. She loved money more than rest. His father. A storm of disappointment. Your brothers made it early. If you don't rise before 30, you're already dead inside. And the brothers. Ya, the car dealer. By 25, he owned showrooms in Accra. Kojo, the politician. By 27, a district chairman. Kwesi, the tech migrant, living abroad. Sending dollars. Meanwhile, Kabina came back home with certificates. No card. No. Land. Just degrees and suits. He tried. Risk first job. Customer support. Sent food home. Second job? Microfinance. Long hours. Shirts and ties. Mother called. Still useless. Third job. Logistics startup. Urban. Hopeful. Are they paying more than Chike? It was like cooking soup. And no matter the spices he added, they said, it's still tasteless. Then came Chike. He had dropped out at 16. No degree. No ceremony. But he returned to the village in a Ben's gold chain. Gold wrist. People ran to his gate. Children shouted. Women danced. I'm a businessman now. That night, Kobina's father looked at him like poison. That boy didn't waste his life with books. Can look. You're just wasting oxygen. Kabina tried not to cry. One quiet day, his father visited Chike. I want my son to be like you. Help him. Chike smiled, only if he can do what I do. That evening, Kabina was summoned. Tomorrow, Chike will teach you the way. No excuses. The next day, a calm evening, Chike arrived. He took Kabina aside. The breeze was soft. The sky orange like ripe mango. And your father is tired. You're struggling. Let me help. We move goods, we travel, we get paid. Then drugs. Kabina asked. Chike didn't flinch. Yes, but I'm not in prison, am I? Poor people care about what's right. Rich people care about results. That night, Kabina couldn't sleep. He confessed to his parents. His father said, so what? Chike is doing it. Has he died? His mother calmly added, greater than I know, a spiritualist. He will make you invisible. You will be safe. Greater than you want me to become. A criminal. His father slammed the table. Greater than I want you to become a man. We bet on you. Don't shame us. At dawn, they traveled to the edge of the village. A small mud hut. No windows. Smoke in the air. Inside sat Baba Idawu. Red cloth. Gray hair, eyes that had seen centuries. No greetings. Just silence. Greater than you want to be safe. His mother answered, yes, he must never be caught. Baba pulled a red thread, a small gourd, and black powder. He whispered forgotten words. He tied the thread around Kabina's waist. He blew the dust into the air. Greater than no machine. No dog, no police will see him. Then privately he whispered to the mother, greater than, but if he lies with a woman during her flow, especially before travel, everything will break. She nodded, but told Kabina only. Greater than avoid careless women. And so began his reign. He stepped into the world like a lion with hidden wings. Every trip was smooth. Officers smiled. Scanners slept. Dogs wagged. Money rained. He bought homes. He bought cars. He bought titles. He sent his mother to Jerusalem. He built a hospital. In his grandfather's name, the village clapped, but behind it all, a secret wrapped in powder. A life walking on glass. A charm tied to blood. And that blood had finally been spilled. The night before his final trip, he went to a club. Friends laughed. Music blared. He met Ama. Skin like shea butter. Eyes like quiet rain. They went home. They didn't talk much. Just did it. He didn't know she was on her period while he slept like a prince. The red thread on his waist turned to dust the next morning. He boarded his flight like always. But the charm was gone. And so the arrest came. The eagle had flown too. Close to the sunshine, said her name was Ada. They left the club together. She came home with him. She kissed him, soft, slow, like rain meeting. Dry earth. There were no long talks, no deep questions. Just warm hands, urgent need, and this silent pull of temptation. That night, Darlington unknowingly touched the very thing Baba Idowu had warned against. Ada was on her period. He didn't know. He couldn't have known. And when he finally drifted into sleep, he lay beside her like a child, smiling in his dreams, imagining flights, money, and power. But far away, in a forgotten hut surrounded by silence, the red thread around his waist began to heat up. It smoldered. It blackened. Then, like a candle left in the wind, died. The charm was gone. The next morning, the sun rose gently, brushing golden light across the sky. Birds glided in perfect formation. The air crisp and fresh, promising new beginnings. Darlington woke early. He yawned, stretched, and smiled. Today was another trip. He wore his sharpest suit, deep blue like a calm ocean. His shoes tapped crisply on the tiles. His gold chain rested elegantly on his chest, and his cologne floated behind him like a whisper. He packed with care. Shirts folded, passport polished, documents checked. All perfect. All ready. He stepped into his gleaming black SUV. The driver opened the door like a royal guard. "Airport," Darlington said, crossing his legs. The journey was smooth, no traffic, no delay, no worries. At the terminal, people waved, smiling. "Chief, safe journey." He nodded at them like a man who owned the sky. He breezed through check-in. The scanners beeped for no one. The guards ignored him. He walked into the plane, took his business class seat, and leaned back like a king. He sipped his juice, scrolled his phone. Legs crossed, then it happened. 3 officers entered the cabin silent, focused, precise. They didn't raise their voices. They didn't create a scene. They walked straight to him. Chief Darlington. He looked up slowly, like a man who had just remembered a nightmare. "Yes, please step out. Just a quick search." His smile melted. His grip on his glass tightened. "You again? I already settled your people. Do you know who I am?" One officer spoke softly but firmly. "You can call anyone you want, but it's too late. Our boss is here." Darlington turned his head. Outside the door stood a tall man in full command, uniform silent, expressionless, powerful. His presence felt like a judgment day. Darlington's chest began to pound. The air shifted. The warmth was gone. He reached toward his waist. Nothing. The red thread was dead. No protection, no spirits, no cover. Only a man, caught in his own game. He stood up, adjusted his sleeves, walked out. Phones flashed, whispers spread. The internet exploded, and just like that, the lion had stepped straight into the hunter's trap. They took him to court. The room was full. Journalists, strangers, former friends. None were there to help, just to watch. He wore no suit, no chain. Just a brown prison uniform that hung loose on his shoulders. The judge's voice was cold. Final, guilty. Everything collapsed like a house without a foundation. His mansion's gone. The village house seized. The small flat he bought for his cousin, even, that was taken. His car's the black Jeep. The red sports car, even the one he promised to his pastor, vanished. Then came the final blow. They took his parents' house, the one he built. It's the one with pride and high gates. His parents returned to the broken mud house of the past. Cracked walls, leaking roof, no light, no more visitors. No more "your son is doing well." It's just whispers. Just shame. They sat on wooden benches, staring at nothing. Days passed. But joy never came back. Darlington was no longer the chief. He was just a name on TV, a headline, a warning, a fallen star. The prison walls were tall, gray, unforgiving. Darlington sat alone, his back to the cold wall, food untouched, eyes empty. Every day he wrote letters to his parents. "You made me this. You pushed me. You broke me. You were not my wings. You were the chains on my feet." But no letters came back. Not even one. They had erased him. He stopped talking. He stopped smiling. He just existed in his hand. He held the red thread. Old, torn, useless. Once, it made him powerful. Now, it felt like dust. He looked at it for hours, then laughed. A dry, bitter laugh. The same charm that made him rise had destroyed him. Outside, the world moved on. People forgot. His pictures disappeared from newspapers. His name faded from headlines, and Chief Darlington Uche became just another cautionary tale, a name others whispered to their sons at night. Don't chase riches with blind eyes. Don't follow roads that swallow men whole. Once rich, now forgotten. If you felt something from this tale, please like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more African stories that inspire, warn, and awaken. Thank you.